Hi, I'm Claudia Nagel, Executive Director at Furnace Town. Welcome to our virtual tour. Nestled between the storied Pocomoke Forest and the Nassawango Creek Preserve, about 5 miles west of Snow Hill, stands the Nassawango Iron Furnace and its recreated 19th century village. Built in 1830 by the Maryland Iron Company, the 35-foot stone and brick structure spawned a town that was home to over 300 people, many of whom worked to make iron. There were blacksmiths, wheelwrights, iron workers, weavers, and coopers among the skilled workers. The cypress swamp held deposits of iron ore. They gathered the iron ore from the swamp, brought clam and oyster shells up the Pocomoke River from the Chesapeake Bay, and made charcoal from the hardwoods of the Pocomoke Forest to produce pig iron through the cold blast process. The iron was nicknamed pig iron because of the shape of the molds. The molds resemble a sow nursing her young piglets. Thus, it was named pig iron. The area's natural resources were central to the production of iron. These materials were layered into the top of the furnace, heated to 3,000 degrees, and the resulting liquids were drawn off at the bottom of the furnace. Iron was poured into the molds, loaded onto mule-drawn barges, and carried to waiting ships for transportation to Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York. In 1836, the furnace changed ownership several times before Thomas Spence of Worcester County purchased it and began producing pig iron at 700 tons per year. Spence is credited with the installation of the hot blast stove. The Nassawango Iron Furnace is structurally typical for its period, while distinctive in several ways. It smelted bog ore. It is mostly made of brick rather than stone, and of greatest significance, it is the earliest surviving American furnace that employed the hot blast. The cast iron hot blast stove at the top of the furnace stack was installed at Furnace Town less than a decade after the introduction of the process in Scotland. The Nassawango Furnace is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and recognized by the American Society of Mechanical Engineers as a National Historic Mechanical Engineering Landmark. Iron was produced at Nassawango until 1847, when labor shortages and poor market conditions forced Spence to shut down the furnace. The Nassawango Furnace and the surrounding village were left idle. The site became overgrown and the forest reclaimed much of the village structures. In 1982, Furnace Town Foundation, a private nonprofit organization, was formed to preserve and interpret the rich heritage of Furnace Town. Today, Furnace Town is home to 13 different buildings representing different aspects of 19th century life. The buildings at the site were relocated from other areas of Worcester County. It is one of the largest collections of 19th century buildings on the Eastern Shore. The buildings hold collections of period artifacts including a 300-year-old loom, a double forge, printing press, and broom-making equipment, to name a few. The Mount Zion Schoolhouse, circa 1859, is listed in the National Registry of Historic Places. It served students of Worcester County until 1931. Old Nazareth Church, one of the central institutions of the village, was moved to the site in 1980. The R. Frank Jones Museum is a rare and fine example of Gothic architecture and houses a broad collection of historic objects. It is named in honor of R. Frank Jones, who rediscovered the furnace in 1970 and became a leading advocate for its preservation. The Working Blacksmith Shop is one of our most popular exhibits. It contains a double forge, and the Furnace Town Blacksmith Guild hold monthly meetings and demonstrations. Furnace Town is open April to October and hosts cultural events, artisan demonstration, family celebrations, and weddings. Our newly updated village store features work of local artists, local honey and cheese from the local dairy. The Paul Leifler Trail is accessed through Furnace Town. It's a mile loop hike through the cypress swamp, and scattered throughout our property are pollinator beds of natural plants and other unique species. The 25-acre site has something for everyone. Whether you're a student of history, outdoor enthusiast, or someone who enjoys nature, you can find it at Furnace Town. Thank you for joining us for our virtual tour. We hope to see you soon.